Hey, you're getting lost in plot. We're talking about The Time Traveler's Wife, which is the brand new series on HBO Max. And this is adapted from a book that was really, really popular a little over a decade ago. It was written by Audrey Niffenegger, I think her name is. And I read the book. I read this book. So when I saw it was being adapted into a series, I said, well, I've read the book. I'm going to check this out and let's find out what is the plot? What is the premise of this? So The Time Traveler's Wife is centered on this woman named Claire and is all about her relationship with a time-traveling man named Henry. Now, the interesting twist on this is Henry time travels involuntarily. He never chooses when he's going to time travel or where he's going to go. It just suddenly happens and he disappears to somewhere within his life. So his life is the timeline and he will spontaneously jump from different places and different times in his life. And every time he does jump into another spot, he is bare-assed naked. That's right, so the first thing he has to do is mug somebody, take their money and clothes, and go find something to eat until he can time travel back to where he was. Now, this is a love story, yes, it's kind of a romantic sci-fi, but I think less of the romantic, more of the sci-fi is what's interesting here, because you do have a situation where Henry time travels, he's in his 40s, and he's time traveling back to Claire when she's only 7 or 8 years old. And that's actually how they first meet. It's so bizarre and weird that way that a 40-year-old man is meeting his wife when she's only 8 years old. And then as they go on, he's jumping back and forth and meeting her at different times when he's a different age, when she's a different age. And she's seeing him at all these different periods in his life. She's seeing him in his 20s when he's an asshole. She's seeing him when he's 40 when she likes him more. And he's also disappearing at any time. So she's going to be abandoned like that at any moment. So this is a really interesting concept. The involuntary aspect of the time travel makes it compelling. So is it good what we're getting here? Well, Theo James is Henry and Leslie Rose, I think, is Claire. And they're both fine. They're both good. I mean, we're getting the romantic angle, which again is less interesting to me than the time traveling angle. And what we're getting in the first episode is really, I think, the whole book. They condense most of the entire book into the first episode. So I'm left wondering a little bit where we're going to go from here. It was a decent book. It wasn't great or revolutionary. It was definitely a bestseller. And there were some asides and some things that he did when he was time traveling that we probably don't need to explore very much. It doesn't have to stay too loyal to it. But I wonder if it's going to handicap him in storytelling-wise that we're not going to get a whole lot of surprises, because they did give away so very much in this pilot episode, which was a little bit strange to me. If you think about the other thing when he time travels is if something bad happens to him and he starts bleeding, or he loses a tooth or something like that, pieces of him will time travel without him. So he might be sitting in a chair and all of a sudden, a piece of a tooth or something will pop up, or a pool of blood will show up, and he'll say, oh shit, something bad ahead there. So there's a lot of this time loop kind of stuff where he's going to reach a certain age, so it kind of saps a little bit of the tension out there, because he's never in danger, because he's got to hit that age. I remember seeing him at that point. And you kind of know how this relationship is going to play out. You know how they're going to get married and everything. So there's not a whole lot of questions in terms of what's going to happen next. So I wonder after this first episode if they're just going to double down and just be a romance and lose a lot of the cool sci-fi aspect of an involuntary time traveler that's just going back to different parts of his life, which is far more compelling and interesting to me. I mean, I think this could have done well as a 2-hour feature, but doing a full series on HBO Max, I am curious, and I don't know how they're going to pull that off. But ultimately, I've read the book, and I'm just wondering, what are we going to do for a full season of this? And I'm not sure if there's enough road here that we might just get bored of this whole concept and the relationship, unless they can throw in some surprises and twists that would be branching away from the novel. So in this case, it would probably be a good idea, if you're going to do a full season series of this, to get away from that novel and start doing some different things. Whether they do that or not, we will find out. But this is an interesting thing. It is a romance. If you want to stay the hell away from a romance, you can. It's done a little bit more sophisticated. It's not like a cheesy Lifetime romance thing. It's a little bit more sophisticated than that. And there is a cool sci-fi time travel element to it as well. So if that kind of a mix sounds good to you, then maybe this is worth checking out. For me, I'm going to keep this one alive at a 6 out of 10. I don't know yet. I'm curious, and I might come back for the second episode to see, well, what are you really going to do with the rest of the season? Because you gave me so much of the book in the first episode. Is there anything left that you got? I'm willing to come back and check that out. So that's what I have for The Time Traveler's Wife, the brand new series on HBO Max, alive at a 6 out of 10. Guys, if you like this review, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave some comments down in the comments section, because we are going to catch you all on the next one.